To every problem, there is a most simple solution, according to Agatha Christie, that is. Hey friends and fellow bibliophiles, welcome to Cat's Novel Adventures. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a problem I had with my Year of Christie, what my solution is, as well as sharing some of my new books in my Agatha Christie collection. Okay, it has been about 3 months since I released my Year of Christie video, where I shared my plan, shared my Year of Christie jar where I was going to pull out some titles throughout the year, and I had all these hopes and dreams of diving into all kinds of Agatha Christie mysteries, and that hasn't happened. I actually started my year off with a biography, Lucy Worsley's Agatha Christie, An Elusive Woman, 5-star read, fantastic. I started in January and it took me, it seemed forever. Nonfiction, not as fast to read, but that's not the only problem. Then I was able to squeeze in another Agatha Christie. This is an adaptation by Charles Osborne on an Agatha Christie play called The Unexpected Guest, and 4-star read. Wonderful. That is not the problem. The problem is we are in May, days away from the end of May and about to get into June, and I have read 2 books. 2 books. That's it. Okay? I was hoping to read anywhere from 10 to 12 books this year, and that has not happened. So the problem is I am not making my Year of Christie a priority, clearly. I started on my path and thought I was doing wonderful, and then I strayed off the path because I am too tempted and find all these readathons and reading events that happen throughout the year. They just entice me and they tempt me, and then before you know it, I'm reading for other things instead of my Year of Christie. So I had to come up with a solution because I don't want to be in December and have to admit that I epically failed with my Year of Christie. In order to come up with my most simple solution, I decided to have a Year of Christie meeting with myself so that I could come up with a plan, get myself caught up, and enjoy some Agatha Christie mysteries. The first thing I decided to do was go back and check my Year of Christie video just to see if there were any titles recommended to me in the comments that I didn't have already written down. And there were a couple, so I wrote those down and I checked the books that I currently had on my shelf. Any ones that I did, I went ahead and wrote the title and who recommended it to me on a Post-it note, and I dropped it into my Year of Christie jar. So I have 8 titles in here now to choose from. I also was able to find some Agatha Christie books in the wild, both at Books A Million as well as the Friends of the Library Store, which every time I go to the Friends of the Library Store, that's one of the first rooms I check because finding Agatha Christie books in the wild is very far and few between. So I decided that instead of picking my first book out of my jar to get back on track, I happened to find the first Hercule Poirot book at Books A Million in the bargain section. I think it was like $5.97, and it is The Mysterious Affair at Styles. So I'm super excited. It's not very long, so I figured this would be the perfect book to start in June and, you know, get the ball rolling. And then from that point on, I'll go ahead and start picking titles out of my jar because everything that is in my jar, I physically have a copy of it on my bookshelf. So let me tell you a little bit about what this mystery is all about. In his first fascinating appearance, the detective Hercule Poirot must unravel the mystery surrounding the death of Emily Inglethorpe. While all the clues seem to point to her husband, bum, 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 there is more to the murder than first appears. Only through careful observation and logical deduction can Poirot uncover the identity of Emily's killer. Filled with sudden twists, startling revelations, and elaborate subterfuge, The Mysterious Affair at Styles is a thrilling mystery novel that is sure to enthrall readers. I hope it's going to enthrall me. So far, I've loved everything that I've read by Agatha Christie, and I never can solve the mystery, so I don't really have high expectations to solve this one either. But oh, if I could just guess the killer just once, I would be really, really excited about that. Now it's time for show and tell, and I'm excited to show you some Agatha Christie books that I found in the wild. I have been looking for some at used bookstores for quite a while. I did find some at one of the used bookstores in Alabama, but they wanted too much and they weren't in the best condition. So I lucked out and found some paperbacks for 50 cents each at the Friends of the Library bookstore in Covington. My friend Shannon and I went on that shopping trip, and I was super excited. Now they're all Hercule Poirot mysteries. I'm excited because one of them happened to be a book that my friend Amy of Amy Taville recommended for my Year of Christie. So let's get started. So the first one is The ABC Murders. This is the one that Amy recommended that I read. Then I have Hickory Dickory Death. I love the name of that title. We have Passenger to Frankfurt. Elephants Can Remember. Love that title as well. And I also love that cover. That was really a cool looking cover. Also, Poirot Investigates. I love how they have the little hat and the mustache, and then you have the most ingenious sleuth in mystery fiction at his deductive best in between. It's pretty funny. And then last but not least, Curtain. Now, according to the back cover, this one says it's supposed to be his last and his greatest case. Not sure, haven't read it yet, so we shall see. My next shopping trip to the Friends of the Library store was with Andrew. We just went last week. It was my Mother's Day gift to go book shopping with him, and then we went and had lunch afterwards, and I found two hardcover Agatha Christie books. One of them is called The Golden Ball and Other Stories, so this is a collection of short stories, and then the other one is a Tommy and Tuppence mystery. That is a couple that solves mysteries, so there are other detectives besides Miss Marple and Hercule Poirot. I have not read anything with Tommy and Tuppence, so I have no point of reference, but this one is called Postern of Fate, and I didn't have a dust jacket for this one. The poor little spine, as you can see, is a little bent. However, it is still in good condition and very much readable. But I couldn't beat it. $2 each for these hardcover books. So I really did make out really well with finding some mysteries at the Friends of the Library store. I also bought a couple of books from Amazon because my friend Emma Bennett, who is an author over in the UK, highly recommended that I read Agatha Christie's autobiography as well as a memoir about her time with her second husband on their first archaeological dig. Well, my autobiography has not come in yet, but the memoir has come in, the archaeological memoir, and it is called Come Tell Me How You Live. And it says on the cover, in 1930, Agatha Christie and her husband, Sir Max Mallowan, went on their first archaeological dig together and began a lifelong affair with the mysteries of the Middle East. And I learned a little bit about her time over there from the biography that I just read by Lucy Worsley, and it's very fascinating. Agatha Christie was a fascinating woman, both in her personal life as well as in her professional life. In addition to the autobiography and the memoir, I happened to spot, while I was looking this up to order them, I happened to notice this beautiful copy of the ABC Murders. And look at that, it's got that gold foil on the cover. I actually own 2 other books. These are published by HarperCollins, and both of the other books also have the foil on the cover. They're just beautiful. And what's really funny about ordering this book, I mean, I know I just found the paperback copy of it, but I figured it's okay. I mean, I can always give that to someone who doesn't have a copy of it. I mean, it's in pretty decent condition if somebody would want it. Or I could always donate it back to the Friends of the Library. Anywho, I actually have another copy of the same book. However, it is part of one of my omnibus collections, which let me just show you those as well. For years, I have had these omnibuses on my bookshelves. I'm talking years and years, and I have not read anything out of them. So that's another reason why it's important for me to do my Year of Christie, because hopefully it'll jumpstart me, and then I'll just have Agatha Christie books all the time mixed in whatever else that I'm reading from this year on. And the first one is a collection called The Perils of Poirot, and it includes the ABC Murders, also The Murder on the Links, Peril at End House, and Cat Among the Pigeons. And these are all Hercule Poirot stories. But look at that cover. Isn't that a pretty cover? The other thing too is I ended up buying a copy of The Murder on the Links because I didn't look at these books prior to making these purchases, and I noticed that Al on Big Al Does Booktube over on his channel, he actually read that book and reviewed it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put that in my jar also because it'll be fun to have another recommendation. So now I also have Agatha Christie's, it's called Postmark Murder, and this one actually has 2 Miss Marple stories as well as 2 Hercule Poirot stories. And the Miss Marple stories are called A Caribbean Mystery and Nemesis, and the Hercule Poirot stories are Murder in Mesopotamia and Appointment with Death. The next one is Murder for Christmas. That's one of the stories, and then they have 3 other mysteries in here. These are all Hercule Poirot stories, and they are The Hollow, Murder in Retrospect, and 13 at Dinner, in addition to Murder for Christmas. And then finally, I have a collection of Miss Marple stories. It's Miss Marple, the Complete Short Stories, and this book was also recommended to me to read by my friend Amy. That is my Agatha Christie collection, and as you can see, I have plenty of stories to keep me busy for my Year of Christie. I have officially rebooted my Year of Christie, and I am very excited to get back on track. I really do appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I hope you enjoyed the tour of my Agatha Christie book collection. If you have read any of the books that I showed you today, or if you have some more Agatha Christie mystery recommendations for me, books that you really enjoyed, please leave them in the comments below. I really appreciate you very, very much. In the meantime, stay amazing and be adventurous. It's time for me to go solve some more problems.